Tight end rankings are a interesting topic when you come off a season where you have a changing of the guard. We saw this at quarterback, we saw this at running back, we saw this at wide receiver in the previous two seasons, kind of mixed all around. The tight end position is getting revamped as we speak. And the old dogs like Andrews and Kelsey are falling off, and the changing of the guard is taking place right in front of our very eyes. And you're looking at three monsters right here. One is a rookie. These are the top three tight end rankings in 2024 and beyond, and we're breaking it all down right now. The Fantasy Football Show begins now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
If you didn't know, Brock Bowers, number 3, incoming rookie tight end, is on the Moon Men list.
The Moon Men, dropping loads in outer space.
If you didn't know, Brock Bowers is possibly the next Rob Gronkowski meets Sam Laporta meets, something else entirely. He's a special player that in the right spot is going to go absolutely crazy in the NFL. And he feels like he's going to be a top 10 overall pick, like a lock. The Chargers would be very smart to take him at number 5. He could go in a number of different places, but that probably would be the best location for him. There are some locations I wouldn't like as much. New England without a quarterback, I don't like that at all. Washington, not a good option. They need a quarterback. So Washington and New England probably are not going to take him. Chicago, let's just say they kept Fields. They're obviously not taking him there. Could Chicago take him at 9? It's possible, but they've got Kmet. So really, he feels in a way, depending on what Tennessee, Okonkwo didn't exactly do what he was supposed to do. Depending on what the Giants and Tennessee do at quarterback, or what these selections, they got Kyle Pitts in Atlanta. He kind of feels like he's not going to go anywhere bad. I feel like a team could even trade up to get him. I do wonder if he doesn't go to the Chargers, though. Like, there aren't, aside from the Giants and Tennessee, there aren't a lot of great fits. I mean, the Jets could look at him. Vikings won't. Denver, you never know. Raiders, probably not with Mayer there. I mean, Mayer's a great tight end prospect. He could have been the number 1 tight end prospect in the draft class last year had he landed maybe in Buffalo, and we'd be talking about Mayer instead of Kincaid all the time. So I don't think they're going to go in that direction. New Orleans, probably not. Indy. Indy would be interesting. Give AR5 that type of option. Now, the thing is, I don't think Bowers would last that long, but then again, you think about how far he would drop. Yeah, Denver could. I just don't want it. They need what are they going to do at the quarterback position? I think they might get so aggressive either with one of these rookies by trading up or going and trying to get Justin Fields. I really think you're going to see Denver get awfully aggressive at QB. Keep in mind, Denver is abandoning Russell Wilson, right? They have to go somewhere. And if they're going to abandon him, they're not going light at the position. They're going to go shop heavy. So Fields could be in play in Denver. We just don't know or hear about it yet. But Bowers, can you imagine if Indy traded up a little bit and took him? That would be phenomenal. The Chargers are the number 1 landing spot. MHJ, Neighbors, or Bowers is a must. Indy needs O-line. They do. I mean, you don't have to always address the O-line in the first round. I'm more of an advocate of building up, coaching up, and drafting second and third round linemen versus drafting a lineman in the top. Well, it depends on the prospect, though. But even the case of Jamar Chase versus these different ideas and strategies that a lot of people cooked up for the Bengals when Penny Sewell was sitting there, and everyone's like, you got to take Penny Sewell, you got to take Penny Sewell. And you could say, well, hey, Burrow's injured, Smitty. And I get that. I get that, but Jamar Chase and Burrow is the ticket, and I think in a lot of these cases, I wouldn't pass on an offensive weapon like Bowers, MHJ, Neighbors, getting one of these quarterbacks over an offensive lineman. If I didn't love those offensive weapons so much, then I would consider it, but I don't feel like an offensive lineman is worth any passing up on those opportunities. Personally, I think you can get a lot of value in the second round at the offensive line positions, but I don't think I would pass on Bowers, MHJ, or Neighbors. And I don't know if the Chargers are going to turn over a new leaf here, or if they're going to say, you know, we love what we got. Mike Williams. Mike Williams is trash. Mike Williams will never stay healthy. He's trash. They give him a bunch of money. He's trash. He'll play good for 4 or 5 games. Him and Keenan Allen won't stay healthy. Quentin Johnston, soft as can be. And this is what I thought of him coming out. I was not super high on him. He seems very soft. Could he develop? Sure. But we're in a day and age where wide receivers kind of come out ready-made. You don't need a third-year breakout year anymore for a wide receiver. If you're not ready as a rookie, you might not ever be. That's the way the NFL is today. I'm not saying to write him off entirely. I'm not saying he can't be a productive wide receiver 2-3 for the team. But if they think the Chargers, whoever comes in and head coaches this situation, maybe it's Harbaugh, maybe it's not. But if this coach comes in and says, "Hey, we're fine at wide receiver," I don't know that I like the process already, because this team needs something special, I think, in order to put Herbert on that next level. They need a generational talent. Keenan Allen is 55 years old. Mike Williams is probably getting re-injured as we speak. And again, I don't like Quentin Johnston. So I disagree with anybody that says they're fine on offense in terms of weaponry. You've got Austin Eckler on his way out. You've got a handful of running backs that you could also bring in, and running backs cost nothing. So I don't want to hear anybody talk about cap, or they can't afford that, or if they go after this or that, then they can't go out. No, these are almost cheaper than rookies right now. You get an RB for $10 million a year maximum. Jacobs, Henry, Pollard, Swift, Barkley, get this man out. He's done. Singletary's available, but I really like the idea of bringing in like a Barkley. If I was running things, you said, "Smitty, here are the keys to the castle. You are now in charge of the Chargers situation. What do? I bring in Barkley. I pay him a nice little handsome salary. Okay, I pay him because you're getting him cheap. You're getting him cheap. And I draft Neighbors, and I draft or I draft MHJ. I draft MHJ first. I draft Marvin Harrison Jr. at number 1. If he goes before my 5 pick, which I probably would trade up because I'm crazy, then I'm contemplating Bowers. I really am. Bowers and Barkley with the wide receivers that you have is a top 4 team in the conference. Not the division, not 4th in the division, top 4 in the conference. This is a Super Bowl appearing team. Bowers is that good. We're on the topic of Bowers. Let me circle back, okay? I get on tangents like crazy. Laporta is number 1. Let's circle back on topic. Number 1. I don't think anybody can come in here and give me a legitimate argument. And if you want to call into the phone line and argue against it, not just to argue, don't call in and be an a-hole about it. I'm saying if you truly have a reasoning and a belief that Laporta is not number 1, like maybe you like McBride. I'm not going to get mad at you. But if someone give me a legitimate argument why Laporta is not tight end number 1, I'll combat it, but it doesn't mean I'll hate your take. I just won't agree with you. McBride is probably tight end number 2. That's a little bit debatable. Bowers 3, you could debate that. You could come in and say, "Hey, I think Hawkinson will get healthy in Dynasty, Smitty," because this is Dynasty. It says right on screen, Dynasty tight ends. By the way, I appreciate everybody being in here. Please punch that thumb up button on your way in the door. We've got 17 eyeballs in here, and only 9 thumbs up. We're getting these live streams up there. I mean, we're doing graveyard. We're building this thing through the graveyard shifts well past midnight whenever we do a live stream on the Dynasty channel. And we've got 19 people in the live stream. If you have not yet subscribed, I ask you to subscribe because this is the Dynasty channel. If this got recommended to you and you just think you're watching the good old normal YouTube channel, you're not. You're watching the Dynasty channel. Please hit subscribe. Please like the video. We only have 9 people of the 18 hitting the thumbs up. Please help your boy Smitty get this content, build this Dynasty channel up, get the watch time up, watch all the videos, get that watch time up so we can monetize this bad boy and take the Dynasty channel to the promised land. Phone lines are open. If anybody wants to dial in, I'm sorry I didn't have the phone line up. It's up now. I can see it. If anybody calls in, give me a good old debate if you want as to why Laporta's not number 1. I'll tell you why your argument's going to get shot down immediately, though. Looking at the tight end finishers from 2023, this is, let's see here. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull up. That's not the one I wanted to pull up. Hold on. I have another thing here. Let me pull up the Marsmen League. Let's pull up the Marsmen League. Let's put this on screen here. Moonmen, Marsmen, players. We'll sort by leaders. We'll put it as of 2023 stats, and then we'll sort by tight end. Sam Laporta. I just wanted to go by the Marsmen scoring. I don't think anything's going to change, but here it is right here. Let me put it on screen. Again, dial in if you guys want to discuss this. You don't have to dial in to debate against me. I was just saying if anybody does have a good solid argument as to why Laporta shouldn't be number 1, I'm here to hear it, but there's not much of an argument to be made because he finished number 1 last year. So he's already on top. Unless somebody thinks he's getting dethroned and he'll still stay number 2, that's where your debate might have some potential. Like if you say McBride's is going to come out swinging Smitty. But here are the 2023 leaders according to the Marsmen League, which is a league we did on the channel. And Sam Laporta was he didn't beat out Ingram by that much. Kind of crazy when you really think about it. Ingram didn't feel Hoosier says first time watching this channel, big fan of the other channel, trying to get interested in Dynasty. Hey Hoosiers and everybody else watching right now, if you're not huge on Dynasty or you're not quite into it as much as you expect to be, let me just tell you, you're going to get a lot of redraft value from every single one of these videos. It'll reinforce 2024 thinking. And it also kind of hammer home how much I like somebody in 2024 when you hear about me talking about him about 2 or 3 years down the road. You know what I mean? So many people think, oh, I shouldn't watch the Dynasty channel. I'm not into Dynasty. I promise you, it gives you a new outlook on the redraft aspects of, the stuff we touch on. But isn't it crazy? Does anybody else share my feeling here that it does not in my gut? Like if you would have asked me and I didn't look at the stats. Let's say I didn't, and I've looked at it plenty, so I know. But the first time I looked at it, I was shocked that Ingram was 2. I knew Ingram was probably around 5 or 6. I really did believe he was there. I know he's had a good year. But did anybody else feel like he was that close to Laporta? I mean, we're talking about almost 10 points away from Laporta. 953 and 4 touchdowns. Not the craziest year, but that 114 receptions is what really just bumped him up over. I mean, that's a crazy amount of receptions. Insane. That those receptions are crazy. 114. I don't think that's talked about much at all. Kelsey still finished number 3, which is kind of crazy. 984, 5 touchdowns. Obviously banged up at the beginning of the year. He's played ever since with, unfocused direction. Hawkinson injured. We'll have more on that, but I can't have Hawkinson above Bowers. I just can't, and I can't put Ingram above Bowers because I think Bowers is so much more capable than what you see right here. I think 904 would be. I think Bowers is 1,000 plus. Maybe it's not 1,400. It's but like 1,000, 1,100, and like 7, 8, 9, 10 touchdowns. Like maybe not his rookie year, but that's what he's going to start producing. Like if I thought he was a 904 guy, and you can't always expect 114 receptions out of Ingram, right? Ingram could be tight end 12 next year. Like that's why it's weird when we see this, because it doesn't really belong. He's great. He's steady. He could. I'm not saying he'll finish 12. I'm saying he could. It wouldn't shock me if he did. That's the kind of finish he has here. But like he feels like 6, 7. Like if I had to bet, he's not finishing top 3 next year. I just don't think he's going to. But. So we'll call it like 80, 90 receptions, whatever he's going to get, 904. That seems about what Ingram's capable of on a healthy season, and he's always kind of an injury worry from the past. But if I thought Bowers was a 904 guy, then you would see, Bowers and Ingram and Kittle and guys like that hovering around each other. But this guy Bowers can be 1,000, 1,100, and 9, 10 double-digit type tight end in the right spot. McBride can be 1,000 yards, 100 receptions, 8 to 10 touchdown guy. Laporta can be 1,100 or more yardage guy with obviously 10 touchdowns, which he got. And this 86, he could turn to 100 easy. So really, Laporta, McBride, and Bowers are really the only 3 tight ends. I think Hawkinson could get there again, but coming off a major injury, I'm not excited about it. Kittle is older. I'm not feeling it with Kittle. Ingram, not a young spring chicken. Ziggy, how old is Evan Ingram? God, Ziggy, are you awake?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Ziggy, how old is Evan Ingram? Good God.
Evan Engram is 29 years old. He was born on September 2nd, 1994.
Is that the right Evan Ingram? Evan, pardon me if I check. Evan Ingram, because sometimes he spits off the wrong year. 29, so he's 29. So in Dynasty, we can't even if we wanted to. This is the Dynasty channel. We can't have Evan Ingram anywhere near this top 3 conversation. He's 29 years old. Ziggy's correct. Kelsey, nowhere near the top 3 in this conversation. Hawkinson, he's injured. He's coming off a major injury. Ziggy, how old is Travis Kelsey?
Travis Kelsey is 34 years old.
So clearly.
He was born on October
Ziggy,
5th,
how old is George Kittle?
George Kittle is 30 years old.
Ziggy, off. We're not having this conversation with these guys. We're not. It's Laporta, McBride, Bowers. And if one even wanted to argue that Bowers is number 1 or 2, I could let it slide. Honestly, I could. It's not my ranking. It's not where I would rank it, but I think that, it's early to put Bowers that high. It's early to put Bowers 3, but it's worth it. It's worth the risk. It's absolutely worth the risk. Here's the additional tight end finishers for 2023. Now, keep in mind on McBride. So Njoku, Ziggy, how old is David Njoku? Ziggy, how old is David Njoku?
Here's what I found from Reuters. It is the 4th game.
Ziggy, off. Do I have to do everything? If you want something done, you do it yourself. David Njoku, age 27 years old. Can't have this conversation with David Njoku. I know everybody wants to because he had such a good year, but he's turning 28. I'm not having this conversation. He does not belong anywhere near the top 3 tight end conversation. We're just not having it. Ferguson, you could throw in the top 5 or 6 conversation. Absolutely. Trey McBride, we got that. That's it. I mean, really, Njoku, Kelsey, Ingram, Kittle, guys like that, and Njoku, once you get past, I think, the top 4 or 5 tight ends, Hawkinson kind of included here. You could kind of throw Mark Andrews into the Kittle bucket. And Njoku may be above Kelsey and Kittle because he's a little younger. Ingram may be slightly below Njoku. And Ferguson above maybe all of those guys. But they're all kind of in this lower bucket, this lower tier. It's Laporta, McBride, Bowers, tier break. Hawkinson, because he's coming off a major injury, maybe tier break. And then this bucket full of older and mid-range year-old tight ends that has Njoku and Ferguson and guys like that floating around, right? Am I right? Travis, you're on the line. Who am I missing? I'm spitballing here. Let me pull up my rankings from thefantasyfootballshow.com.
I think the only guy, and I'm not arguing this, I have Bowers as 3. The only one you could possibly argue would be Kincaid. I have Kincaid at 4 for Dynasty.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even bring up Kincaid. That's why I'm saying I'm spitballing it. Kincaid.
I
Kincaid.
Kincaid either slides into that top tier or maybe under that tier break.
I would put him in the bottom. I put him in this tier at 4. Thank you for bringing him up.
I think Laporta.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that up. I was spitballing it here, and I was totally spacing on my boy Kincaid. I mean, he's a show favorite. What the hell am I thinking? Okay, so Laporta, McBride, Bowers, Kincaid. That would be my top 4 Dynasty. Then
that's a good tier.
Then tier break. I'm sorry, you're correct. Then tier break. Then injured Hawkinson. Maybe tier break. And then a grab bag full of Andrews and Njoku, Kittle, Kelsey, Goddard. Ferguson at the top of
up there, right?
Yeah, Ferguson at the top of that, but I don't think Ferguson.
Well,
I don't know. Maybe
I guess I look at Ferguson. Maybe he's probably like a 808 type guy, 806, and he could go higher. But you're right about that. Like, I don't think you look at him and go, "Oh, he's going to get 1,100 yards."
Yeah, I think the way I look at it, and the chat might disagree. God, I feel so bad I left Kincaid out. He's been sitting there in the cold. So, sometimes your mind isn't I'm spacing. But yeah, Kincaid 100%. Hold on. 100% in tier 1. 100% in tier 1. I did not mean to leave him out. I was just spitballing the top 3, and then I started rolling onto it. 100% inside the top 4. But the reason I have a tier break is because it's a devastating major injury. Hawkinson, I don't know how, I don't know how good he's going to even, be next year. And so, there's a lot of concern about, because he had the MCL and ACL. There's significant knee injuries, two significant ligaments. So the way I look at it is if you're doing a dynasty startup rank or any sort of dynasty rank at all, Kyle Pitts in there too. Absolutely, Sandu. Good one. Kyle Pitts, where does he go? He's in that bucket full of, like, if you had Pitts number 5 in that, or number 6. So let's put it up here. I got to make sure it's official. Hold on. So we got Laporta, McBride, and let me just make this. We'll put 5, and this will be Hawkinson. Okay, so 5 is Hawkinson, but he's in his own tier. And then everybody below that, and again, I'm looking at my thefantasyfootballshow.com rankings just to make sure I'm not missing anybody because I'm spitballing this. I don't have it all prepared or anything. Okay, so Andrews, Hawkinson's in his own tier. So right below him, Ferguson, Andrews, Kelsey, Kittle, and Njoku, or you could go Ferguson and Njoku. I'm not ordering this at all. Ingram, Luke Musgrave, Isaiah Likely, Kyle Pitts. I'm not ordering any of that. Mayer, Ferguson, Dalton Schultz, all those guys are, in my opinion, we could sit here and argue the order of that until dawn. And we literally would not even come close to getting like the first 3 or 4 in order. None of us would have the same order at all. It'd be so crazy. I think this right here feels really, really strong. I think we could easily get a handful of people to agree on Laporta, McBride, Bowers, Kincaid, Hawkinson, or some very small minor adjustment on that. But this one worries me. Hawkinson worries me because, like I said, 2 ligaments. And the reason he's not in tier 1 at the bottom is because you don't know what you're even getting in 2024. So you're getting a player that might not help you near as much. And yeah, maybe in the future he gets back to form, but I'm not expecting it right away. I'm expecting some struggles. He could have a setback. There's a lot of risk involved. He just can't live in tier 1. He just can't. All right, Travis, anything else? I'm not going to hang up on you, but I got Theo on the line. I was going to go to Theo real quick.
No, just I guess so Goddard and Goddard's
Goddard
29 now.
Yeah, but he's in that.
Matt,
He's in that.
They're all in that
Yeah.
thing too. Yeah.
I mean, you literally could put your hand
I'm
in,
good.
pull one out, and be like, Goddard, Ferguson,
So like, I guess the question I'll ask is,
Kyle Pitts.
if you're not getting one of these top tight ends, do you just go for do you suggest going for the guy with like the best quarterback, like that? Obviously they have to use a tight end in their offense, but like, do you just go for a guy with a good quarterback, or how? Like, what's your suggestion when going after a tight end if you're not getting one of those top 4?
To be honest with you, bro, I'd probably go after one of the old dogs. I'd probably say, you know what, I'm going to take Kelsey and pair him with, Dalton Schultz, or I'll take Njoku and pair him with Cole Kmet. I'll take, you know what I mean? Like, I probably just ride that train and take advantage, because I'm obviously taking advantage somewhere else by ignoring the tight end position.
Mm-hmm.
So why not go, with a little bit of an older dog at that and get some points and try and win a championship.
Gotcha.
But that likely Kyle Pitts, it's crazy though. When you get down to like tight end 12, it feels exactly the same as tight end 6. Like, that's why. And even Hawkinson, I could throw Hawkinson into the bottom. Like, I could literally put him in that tier we're talking about with Njoku, Ferguson, and just say because of his injury, he can't even be in his own sub tier. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I mean,
because of his injury,
ACL.
We don't know how long Cousins is going to be there. Like, especially in Dynasty, we're talking a couple years.
Yeah.
Not to mention, he hasn't played a full season with JJ and Addison yet. Like, he got there at the end of the year, and then JJ was hurt, and so there's definitely a lot of question marks swirling there. So
yeah, that just feels like a great top 4. And you know, Kincaid's got a lot of value here at 4 because he could be tight end 2. He could be, better than McBride a year from now. I wouldn't draft that way. I adjust and adapt as much as I loved Kincaid in the offseason. As much as I still love him, I can acknowledge that this guy's just a reception hog, and they force feed him in Arizona. They're going to continue to. Yeah. And Bowers, I would draft him in this order. I truly am being honest. I'm adjusting and adapting, but still loving, Kincaid. But I can at least say if I missed out on these 3, I'd have some decent confidence that Kincaid has the potential to be as high as 2 overall on this list. It's just you wouldn't take him there. There's a little bit more risk if you were to expect that kind of, return on your investment. So you want to buy him at this 4 or 5 territory for sure. And you might even get him a little bit later, but much will depend. And if anybody's watching this later, much will depend on how the playoffs unfold, because as of the recording of this video, we've just exited the wild card weekend. We have the Texans playing the Ravens, we have the Chiefs playing the Bills, we have the Packers playing the Niners, and the Bucks playing the Detroit Lions. None of those games have transpired, so we have Kincaid going up against KC, we have Schultz going up against the Ravens, we have Likely against Houston, we've got Luke Musgrave finally back, scored a touchdown in the wild card game. He's back. Kittle is healthy still at this point in juncture, and Laporta is back and scored a touchdown in the wild card game. So this is now the landscape we're looking at. And if Kincaid continues to flourish, and let's say the Buffalo Bills advance one more game and he plays 2 more and he blows up for 2 games blows up in a good way, then he could climb to 3 and Bowers could go to 4 in my book. But right now, this is how I'd have it. All right, hold on one second, Travis. Let me go to Theo. Theo, you're live.
All right. So my opinion is that Laporta is in a tier of his own, and the second tier consists of McBride, Kincaid, Hawkinson, Andrews, and Pitts. But Bowers, I think he can. I don't have him in those rankings right now because he's not on a team yet. But I think that he could become tight end 1. Like, he definitely has the talent. But I think for now, Laporta is in a tier of his own, in my opinion.
You know,
It's honestly up to preference between the.
I can't let you play this game though, Theo. You gotta decide now where Bowers goes. You can't wait because you know the price is gonna change.
Oh,
that's like
Bowers for me. I'm taking him in the top 3 tight ends.
Okay.
But that could fail or that could succeed. Either way, I mean that's with everybody. But Bowers is one of the most talented tight ends I've ever seen. He reminds me of like a Gronk.
Landweber says Taysom Hill to the moon. Not in Dynasty, bro. But I mean, you compare him in 2024 Dynasty with another tight end like Kelsey, and just like say I'll address tight end in 2025.
I also think that we should take, or maybe give Otten some consideration as like a super late round tight end too.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean,
he performed extremely well. He was like the number 1 receiver in that.
Yeah, I don't mind him. I don't mind him. I think when you get past like Evan Ingram, like Goddard, and Njoku, Kittle, and you start with Kyle Pitts, and then you get to past Ferguson, and then you're like Dalton, Schultz, likely Otten, Mayer. And Mayer's somebody
that's what I'm saying. I don't think Otten's even gonna. People are even gonna look at Otten when they're drafting. It's more.
He'll be like 17, tight end 17, 16, 15. But one person I'll tell you right now though, that if you said Smitty, give me the guy no one's gonna have ranked. This is a great question by Sandu. I'll get to this in 1 second. Give me a guy that no one's going to have ranked anywhere near the top 5 that could break into the top 5. Well, Musgrave's one of them. So if you were to ask me 2, I'd say Musgrave maybe. But it would be Mayer. If Michael Mayer in Las Vegas gets a quarterback like Fields, or he gets one of these big rookie quarterbacks like, even if it's Drake May, who I don't like as much, if it's the right spot I do, then Mayer to the moon. Him and Kincaid were near equals to me in the draft process, the scouting process. I love Mayer. So Mayer is like that's probably going to be my sneaky tight end grab for 2024 deep into the draft. Musgrave will probably be the second one, but those 2 tight ends are, if Travis, to your question earlier, that probably should have been my answer, is grabbing at least one of those, if not both of them, and then maybe still trying to get Kelsey and score some points and then develop those 2. I think Laporta.
I think Mayer could be top 5 if he gets a good QB.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, he's easily the guy that I would say
he's just
slips
as talented as Laporta, in my opinion.
He's really good. Mayer's a fantastic tight end. All right, anything else, Theo?
No, I just wanted to say that I think Laporta's in the tier of his own.
No, it's definitely debatable. I mean, in your favor
as well with Watson.
All right, later, Theo. Travis, anything else?
Just on Pitts, I know he's only 23, so he's still really young, and tight ends can go a while, but do you worry at all that if another year or even two goes by where he's misused, he could just kind of fall by the wayside? One of these guys that are just a what if. Like, I'm not worried about that
100%.
right now, I guess. Maybe it's not worth talking about, but
No,
you know what I mean. Just sometimes you see these guys that they just never get used, and it's like, what happened?
I don't think you're off base at all, and I think that you're not actually that far away from it happening. I don't think it's something you say it's like 23 doesn't matter. If you go 3 or 4 years, think of it this way. I don't know if anybody can ever reflect on a time in their life when they were really good at something. Let's call it basketball. Let's call it running. Let's call it whatever.
Yeah.
And you stepped away for like a couple years and you went back and you no longer had that edge. You weren't better than anybody. You were behind the game. Like, this guy's not utilizing his skills, and the rest of the league's maturing and getting better, and he's just sitting stagnant. He hasn't improved. He hasn't matured. He is not a better player today than he was. In some ways, he might regress. He might fall into bad tendencies. He might have no confidence. He might not know what it feels like to get into the end zone anymore, and he's like trying to break that curse in his mind. And honestly, I think if he has one more year of misuse, I don't know that he'll ever recover anywhere to the form. Think of Josh Gordon. Remember the Browns receiver? Yeah. Like, he had more talent than anybody in the National Football League at the wide receiver position. He could have been Randy Moss if he wanted to be, if he was enabled to be, if he didn't get himself in trouble. And then when he came back and still had the physical talent, he just didn't have it anymore. It was all left behind. Kadarius Toney is another example of, like, just because the talent's there, there's a whole lot more that goes into place to get everything to jive. I think Pitts certainly could fall off.
Yeah, because it's already his fourth year, so they got to decide on the fifth-year contract pickup, and his first year was awesome. He had the 1,000 yards, only one touchdown, but since then, they've just completely misused the guy, and all it takes is losing half a step, and that's it. So I just, and I hope to God he gets used right and they get a QB and stuff, because just thinking about what he could be alongside London and Bijan, that could be such a fun offense. But
yeah,
I just thought it was something to bring up.
The good news is, and look, we could be wrong in this expectation. We could get kicked right in the sack on this one, and the reason I say that is because we thought for sure Lamar, or I did. Let me just say, I'll stop putting words in people's mouth. I thought for sure Lamar was as good as gone the day that it was announced he was franchise tagged on the lower tender of 2 first-rounders. I thought he was gone. Not if, but when he was gone. He wasn't. Right. And there were so many situations like the Atlanta Falcons that I thought, there's no way this team with no competition isn't going to step in and go, we'll do it. We'll take them. And they didn't. So who the hell knows if they go some crazy, stupid route. Like, let's say Jimmy G gets cut and they bring in Jimmy. Like, we have no clue, like, what's really going to happen. And what if Bill Belichick goes to Atlanta and he brings in Jimmy G? Like, we don't really know what could happen. That'd be the worst thing ever.
That could happen too.
I know that's not the craziest scenario, is it?
Oh man.
But what I'm saying is, like,
no.
I mean, I think I can say with logic, Atlanta will figure out, they will get a quarterback, because Penix Jr. will definitely be available here. That would be a nice safety net. Fields will be on the table. I worry it's like Russell Wilson, but that's not worse than Ritter or anything like that. So, like, in a way, I'd almost be like, okay, like, at least there's somebody there, but I don't want it to be Russell Wilson. I want it to be a potential stud. I want it to be Fields, who we know can be a stud if he's supported right, or Penix Jr., who could be elite, or, Drake May. Even J.J. McCarthy, maybe. I don't know. I don't really feel like he's got the potential everybody else does. But then again, let's keep in mind his stats weren't glorious and amazing. But guess what? Tom Brady's weren't either. Tom Brady came out with like a 2,600-yard season, like a 2,400.
You don't know.
You never know. McCarthy seems like a good decision maker at least. But Atlanta will have at least a rookie or Fields. I hope. It feels logical. We just don't freaking know. I hate Bijan. I don't hate Bijan. I don't love Bijan's situation with Bill Belichick either. We just, if it happens, we're gonna have to digest it all and reassess. I'm hoping if Bill Belichick does land in Atlanta, that the reaction is so bad in the fantasy community that it makes Bijan a value, and then we can get back in.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us are going to want to take him 5 overall with Belichick at the helm. I just don't.
And that's I keep saying it. If Bill lands somewhere with an established quarterback, like if he went to the Chargers, and Herbert's there, I don't think he's going to, or even Dak in Cowboys, I don't think he's going to screw up an offense that much. But if he ends up somewhere like Atlanta and it's Ritter and he pieces together something with Jimmy G, God forbid, or something like that, then I think there's real trouble. I think if they got Fields, or if they got Kirk Cousins, or drafted a Bo Nix or whatever, Penix, I don't think it would be quite as bad as people think. But yeah,
Penix, not Penix.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a problem for a lot of people. Penix, it's Penix. So I guess I'll say this. The one thing that I guess I would feel a little bit like good about is that, I mean, I don't want to say good, but I would wonder, is that Bill Belichick, like when you think about it, like he has had good running backs. He has had, Stevenson was good under his command. It just was last year he wasn't. So like part of me wonders if there's still a world where Bill does go to Atlanta. Let's say they bring in Russell Wilson. Let's just paint a very bleak perspective. And so you got Russell Wilson, you got Bill Belichick in Atlanta. I mean, Stevenson did thrive for a while. So, like, I don't know. I don't want it. But, yeah, Bo Nix would be amazing in Atlanta, I think. That's a good one, too.
Yeah.
All right, Travis, I'm out of here. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks, Freddie.
Later.
Talk.
Sandu, this is a great question. How does Trey McBride get affected if the Cards draft Marvin? It's a great question. Great question. I guess maybe it limits him a little bit. Maybe that opens the door to Bowers and Kincaid to get right there with him. I think that's a great point. And there's not a high unlikelihood that there's a high likelihood that it happens. The Cardinals are definitely going to be in the business of looking at that, kicking the tires on MHJ. But we'll address it when it happens. I don't think it would knock him out of the top 4. It just might give Bowers and Kincaid some wiggle room to climb up. That's the worst case scenario. Yeah. I mean, I guess the worst case scenario would be Jimmy G and Bill Belichick. Yeah, I want my boy Jimmy. I want him back. I would throw up in my mouth the moment that was announced. God, can you imagine that? Can you imagine the rant I'd go on? Jimmy Garoppolo is not even a top 35 quarterback in the National Football League. If he landed with the Falcons, I would literally pass out. Just fall down immediately. All right, guys, appreciate you. If you didn't know, this is the Dynasty channel. Please subscribe if you're new. Thank you for all the thumbs up. We have more thumbs up than even eyeballs right now, which is fantastic. 33 of you are in here. Please hit that subscribe button. If you found this stream and you think you're on the main channel, you're not. This is the Dynasty channel. It's being recommended to you. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We'll be doing Dynasty live streams every single night. Appreciate you all. See you tomorrow on the main channel. This is the Dynasty channel. You are watching youtube.com/Dynasty Fantasy Football. I'll be live as I am every Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern And before, if news breaks, I go live on youtube.com/The Fantasy Football Show. And all my content year-round, trade calculators, rankings, bold predictions, video courses, thefantasyfootballshow.com. Now get out of here.
Liftoff of mission 3, 2, 1, 0.
Thank you to my mods. Hey, Blackbeard, you want to be a mod over here? I gotta make a few more mods. Let's see if we can make Blackbeard a mod real quick. That's my boy. That's my boy. That's my boy. Let's see. Blackbeard. Okay, hold on, Blackbeard. Wait 1 second. Don't go anywhere. My boy. I'm trying to make you a mod right now. Hang tight. There you go. There you go, my boy. He's got the wrench. Is it showing up for you, Blackbeard? Just a rumor, you know how those go. What are we talking about, bro? There it is. Yeah, Blackbeard's in the house. G Money in the building. What's up, G Money? All right, guys, please help with the real quickly. Please help with the watch time on the channel. Give the other videos a play. The more watch time we get, the closer we get to monetization. We should be there in a couple weeks, I think. If not, like a week. It just kind of depends on how much you guys consume the content. But please consume, watch. And before you know it, we'll have monetization, and then we'll have the YouTube exclusive membership over here. And we'll have all Dynasty emojis all over the place. So it'll be unbelievable. I'll see you all later. Thank you, Mod Squad, Blackbeard, Travis Rowe in the building, DeBalt if he's around. I'll see you all later. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate you. Thank you, G Money. G Money in the building. Thank you, Theo. Huffman, appreciate you. Gutierrez, appreciate you. Who else is in here? Al in the building. G Money. Ray G in the building. Ray G is a unicorn. Ray G is a unicorn. Kevin in the building. What's up, Kevin? Who else is here? Hybrid's in the house. Hybrid, Mark B. Mark, appreciate you. Superfish has been here the whole time. Joel, thank you, Joel. Aaron's in the building. Appreciate you all, Sandu. I'll see you all tomorrow.
The Moon Men dropping loads in outer space.